Okay. Hey, you guys, I'm Jordan Splinter. I'm a presidential diamond, and I'm super excited to talk with you guys tonight about color personalities. I wish I could see every single one of your faces, but I'm on my phone and I have to just scroll through. Oh, I see Megan in your towel on your head. You look cute. Hey, you guys. Okay, so this is a topic that I feel like we have not gotten to hit on in a while. So I just want to refresh for maybe some of you guys that have been here for a while. And for those of you that are new and we haven't talked about this yet, you're going to be in for such a treat because this literally, you guys, if you've been in the business for any amount of time and you know what color personalities can do for your business, go ahead and just drop a 1 in the chat. I want everybody to see just how much this can affect and just explode your business when you really just implement these things and just put them to work in your business. So the biggest thing that I want to start with about color personalities, and I'm going to swipe through while I'm talking to you guys so I can see different faces, is it's really about just being self-aware. So not just how we are interacting with other people, but the first time that I ever did a color personality test, I had done other things in the past, like the Myers-Briggs and a few other things. I actually have a degree in psychology, so this was kind of something that I was interested in college anyway, just something to get to know people's minds, like know why they tick, why do they work this way, why do they talk that way, why does this set them off, why does this make them shut down, or whatever it may be. It just really interests me, like why people are the way that they are. Anybody else like that? So when I did the color personality test, it was a little bit more eye-opening to me, honestly, than like the Myers-Briggs that I had done in the past. Honestly, I could never remember my letters. I don't know if anybody else has done that and you're like, wait, I'm the INF, what? Like, what am I? I don't even know. That might not even be my numbers. I can never really remember them well, but the color personalities, for whatever reason, just stood out to me so much. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in the chat really quickly the link to the color personality test that I'm going to be referring to, just to go ahead in case anybody is asking. If you have not done this yet, save this in your phone so that you can do this as soon as you get off of this Zoom, so that you can go forward and just start implementing these things right away. But I learned that I am predominantly yellow. Do we have any other yellows in here? I know some people drop their things. There's a lot of them to go through, so you guys can say, yes, I'm yellow. My dominant color is very yellow, and interesting fact, when I joined the business, my yellow was way higher of a percentage than it is now, which is kind of interesting. We're going to talk about that a little bit too. And then my secondary color is red. Anybody else red in here? Anybody else a secondary red? Maybe something else comes first, but red is like your little undertone that you got going on. Let's see this chat. Yes, Chelsea, I know you're red. Yes. Okay. So what that basically meant for me, and when I went and read like kind of what those things mean, first I looked up yellow. And if you guys haven't seen yet, in Fire Tribe Files, there's an incredible file in there that Brittany has put for us that just gives so many resources talking about all of these colors. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, do the test first and then go check this out. You're going to learn what a high functioning color is, a low functioning, their weaknesses, how they work well, what makes them tick, what makes them do, well, what sets them back, all kinds of things. Make sure you guys check that out because it's so good. I even went and did a refresher on this today just to remember a lot of the things. So for me as a yellow, that meant for me, I'm a pretty introverted person. I'm a pretty shy person, maybe not so much introverted as much as I was when I first started the business, but I was very quiet, very shy. I was very anxious a lot. I don't know if that's predominantly yellow or if that can be across the board. I'm sure it can. Anxiety was big for me, but what it also meant was that I am super loyal. So Brittany, she is a very dominant red. When she came to me as a yellow, what that looked like for me was I felt very timid and maybe a little bit insecure in what I was doing, maybe a little insecure in like my abilities, what I had to offer. And Brittany was a very strong, dominant red personality, and I was drawn to that. I was drawn to a strong leader that could tell me, okay, maybe you have insecurities in this area. Let me show you how to fix it. Let me show you how to do this type of thing. So it's interesting to see the different colors, like what color you're drawn to. Like some colors we kind of maybe clash with, but other ones we're really drawn to them, and I think that that's super interesting too. And once you kind of look over those colors, you know them for yourself, you know what makes you tick, you know what makes you run, how you work best, how you communicate best, all the different things. When you have a grasp on that, then you can turn around and you can use this to better communicate in your team. You can better communicate with your potential customers, your potential distributors. You can take it to any area of your life, in your marriage, your friendships, like anywhere you go. Having the colors kind of in the back of your mind really helps so much when you're having these conversations with people. It helps you maybe to not get flustered in a conversation or frustrated, or maybe you just run completely differently than somebody else. I might go through, and in any of my girls on here, I might pick on you a little bit and just share some of the differences maybe between like me and them, what makes me tick, what makes them tick. I'll have to scroll through and see who else on here to be able to do that. But it just helps you be able to better communicate with other people in general. So just to kind of go through some of the colors, one thing important too I want to mention is I always just looked at my primary color. So I looked at yellow, and a lot of times I picked out a lot of the weaknesses of yellow. Like maybe I wouldn't push myself as hard because I'm like, oh, I'm yellow. I'm very yellow. I don't know if I could do that. Like, I'm shy. I don't know if I could do that. Instead of like turning it around and using the positive things and letting that drive me, like instead of looking at what's going to keep me from doing something, I'm looking at what is actually going to help me do better in that. Maybe I'm, more because of my loyalty, customers maybe want to come sign with me, because they know that I'm going to be by their side the whole way, or my distributors. Same thing or whatever. But also your secondary color is super important as well. And something that I learned that I wanted to share with you guys that I thought was super interesting was, so your primary color that you are operating in, like your first color that your test said that you are, maybe your percentage is like super, super high. I think mine was like 55% yellow, and then kind of went down from there. I'll have to go back and look at them. Red was my secondary, then blue, then I don't even know how there's green on the board. I'm pretty sure my green's in the negative. I don't even know how that made a percentage on there. I'm looking at Amanda right now who's like totally green, and she's probably like, what in the world? She helps me with my green. But your secondary color is super important too. And what I learned that I thought was super interesting was that when we're in situations where we are just doing well, maybe like think your best life, your best day, like everything's going right, things are going just great, customers are signing, your house is calm, your kids are calm, like your best day ever, you're gonna be operating in whatever your primary color is, like those strengths, you're gonna be operating in those things. But it's when we maybe have like a shift in our emotions, maybe something stirs you up during the day, or maybe you get a nasty message from, somebody who knows nothing about what you do, but they think they can tell you everything about what you do. Or maybe a nasty message from a customer or a downline, or somebody quits, or whatever it is. We kind of go, I know you guys know about like fight or flight mode, kind of think of it in that way. We start to shift and we operate in our secondary color. And that just made me stop and think for a minute. Like, what does that look like for me to operate secondary as a red? Like, what weaknesses do I operate in that? And Josh and I were actually talking about this today and trying to figure out, like, what does that look like for me? Like, how do I handle things like that? And for me, it looks like as a red operating in my secondary color, when I'm in an uncomfortable position, I shut down. I put this front up. Maybe I put on this face that looks like everything's fine, but inside I'm like, don't talk to me. Like, I just need to process this. And I just go into this whole different mode. Whereas like a yellow, I'm very personable. I love relationships. I love talking with people. I would say that I'm friendly. I think everybody who meets me would say the same thing. So it was really interesting to take a step back and look and see, like, how do I react to these things? How does my red come out when I go into my secondary color and start doing those things, and how do I like come out of it? So I wanted to share that with you guys because I hadn't heard that before until recently, and I thought that it was just really, really intriguing that our emotional state really triggers the weaknesses of our secondary color. So just something for you guys to think about. But another way that our color personalities really go with us throughout the day, it really shows like how we handled things differently. Like as a yellow, I may handle conflict way, way different than Mandy. I don't know what your color is, but I see your face. Maybe Mandy's probably a yellow. I can't use her as an example. She's yellow too. Who else? So we'll say Chelsea, because I know she said red. We will handle conflict in two totally different ways. Whereas I may really shy away from conflict as a yellow, Chelsea may be, you know, very more upfront and like, let's get this out of the way, let's talk about it, let's do it and move past it. Whereas for me as a yellow, I'm thinking, oh, conflict is just going to stir the pot. It's going to make this person upset with me. You know, even in like coaching calls and as a leader, for those of you guys who have people on your team, that's something that, you know, we should be daily striving to work through to like figure out the colors and how to operate best in them. That was something I had to learn quickly as my team started growing, was I cannot be afraid of conflict. I've got to be able to be impartial and lead my team the way that they need to be led, because a yellow needs to be led totally different than a green and then a yellow and then a blue and all of those things. So if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, what these colors are, so I'm just going to go through and talk about just some of the basics of each of the colors. I'm not going to dive in too deep because you guys can read about that in the Files and Fire Tribe. But we'll just go through a few different ones. So red, what red looks like. Shout out if you're a red on here. Red is going to look like somebody who is super determined. They are very goal oriented. They may be very money driven. They may be very direct. These people on your team. So if you have people in your downline or in the future as you start signing distributors, if you have reds on your team, they're probably going to be super interested and very driven by team contests. Something that challenges them, that, you know, makes them want to be first and go and just run hard. I know a few of the girls popping in my head. I know Emily Ransom, she's a super team competitor. She loves to get in stuff like that. Elizabeth, same thing. I've watched them go back and forth in team contests and they're just like, oh, let's go. Like, this is healthy. Let's do this. Like, let's push each other. Like, that's how they're driven. Reds are also people who value respect. They want people around them to respect them, and they offer that same respect as well. And then as far as like what a red is really driven by, like the word and the question that they're really driven by is what? Like, what am I doing this for? Is it for money? Is it for recognition? Is it for respect, or whatever it is? So as you're talking with reds on your team or reds in your sidelines or uplines, think about those different things. So, and as a yellow, the master question for them is why. So that really resonates with me because I'm dominantly yellow. Why am I doing this? Why is this important to me? Why am I doing this business? Why am I helping? You know, why do I have these products? It's to help other people, to help my family, or, you know, whatever it is for you. Yellows are going to be a big why person. So as you're talking to other yellows, keep that in mind. That's the things that you want to bring up to really pull their heartstrings and get them talking and engaged in conversation. Reds are also, I mean, not reds, excuse me, yellows. They are helpers. They're very people oriented. They are wanting to help others a lot of times before themselves. They may have the tendency to put other people's needs before themselves, to the point where they lack, or they, you know, deprive themselves of what it is that they actually need. They're very driven by emotional connection. That's something I resonate with. I'm very connection driven. I like to get to know people. I want to know your background. I may not be the best all the time at being able to follow up with each person. That's a part of my scatteredness that I work on a daily basis, but I like to know what's going on in people's life. I like to call it stepping into people's worlds. I want somebody to step into my world. I don't want them to come straight at me with facts, reasons, and logic, or, you know, whatever. I want them to talk to me first. How's your day? How have you been? You know, whatever it is. How's that one thing we talked about a month ago? Yellows are very driven by that. They value relationships. They're extremely loyal. And like I said, they tend to avoid conflict and confrontation as well, which as a yellow, I've learned that those things are actually extremely healthy, and they're very, very healthy for growth, because yellows tend to hold things in to the point where you know, it's not, they think it's a good thing that they're not having that confrontation or that conflict, but rather what it is doing is boiling up inside of them. And you guys, like, if anybody on here has experienced a yellow that has finally exploded, it is like, can be very interesting. And I am one, I will stuff and stuff and stuff until I just explode, whether it's I'm frustrated or I just burst into tears and my husband's like, what the heck is wrong with you? Like, what is going on? You know, so I've had to learn that conflict is actually extremely healthy. Confrontation is extremely healthy to get things out of the way, to talk about it. Because again, as a yellow, we get in our heads a lot and we think like, you know, what is this person thinking of me? Are they, you know, talking bad about me? Do they not like me? Are they making fun of me when I get up from the table? Am I part of the group? Like different things like that. I'm sure if there's other yellows on here, you can relate as well. And then we have blues, and blue, who is a blue on here? I know for sure Deborah Logo is a blue. I don't know if she's on here yet or not. That is one of my blue girls. Who else is blue? I see some few coming in. Yes, so blues, they are going to be your fun in a box, you guys. Like, they are confetti popping out in your face. They are like, where is the party? Zach, yes. Why did I not even think Zach? Exactly. Zach, Deborah, yes. All the ones on here saying they're blue. They want to be where it is fun. They don't want to be somewhere boring. If you are, you know, loading them down with, again, facts, reasons, logic, details, things like that, they're probably going to check out quick, fast, and in a hurry. They want to be constantly, their mind needs to be constantly stimulated. Like, what's next? What fun thing is next? They're highly energetic. They tend to be spotlight driven. They are great at engaging with people and meeting new people. Another example of Deborah, the very first time I met Deborah was when I showed up at her house to stay with her family for like 3 days with my family. And she's like, come in. Yes, of course. Like, where's the party? Let's do all the things. She'd never met me before. And her kids are like, Mom, who is this stranger coming in our house? She's like, oh, it's fine. I met her online. So they're like, whatever, you know, let's do the thing. They tend to be very spontaneous, expressive, and they value response. They value, you know, if they're putting something out there, they want to get the same thing back. If they want people to meet them at their level, like, hey, let's get the party started. You better come party with me, or I'm just gonna be the only one here doing it. And then their big question, blues, their master question is also a why. And it's very interesting how blues and yellows are very similar with their emotional responses to things. And I feel like the biggest difference there is yellows tend to just internalize their emotional responses, whereas blues are very loud about their emotional responses, and they, you know, just put it out there and say what they want to say, and then they forget about it and go on to the next thing. So they are super fun to work with, you guys. That's who keeps like things fun, keep contests fun, they keep chats fun, all the things. We love our blues. And then green, their master question is how. How am I going to do this? How do I sign distributors? How do I sign customers? How do I maximize my paycheck? How do I fill in the blank? You know, I'm sure we can all agree that we've had greens, whether it's PDTs or customers or on our team. For me, green is my lowest of the lows of numbers. I'm not even sure how it even showed up on my list of percentages because it is that low. So that's something for me that I've had to really learn and work through as a leader, to learn to be able to tap into that green when I need to be able to do that. I can show people where to go. I may not be able to give you all of the facts and the reasons and the research and all of the things, but I can tell you where to go to find it. And if I don't know, I'm going to find that question for you. I'm going to help you figure that out. A very good prime example, if you guys haven't put it in the chat yet, who's a green on here? My prime example is Amanda, one of my very, very, very good friends and one of your Fire Tribe leaders. She is the full green to my zero green, you guys. Like, I know that I can count on Amanda that she is going to Google the heck out of something before she is going to talk about it. She has always come to me with these random facts, and I'm like, girl, how did you even think to ask that question? Like, what in the world, you know? But Amanda teaches me so many things. She teaches me about song lyrics that I didn't know about. She teaches me about products, you know, different ingredients and products that I didn't know about. She, you know, greens are the ones who help pull us all together, you guys. They know what's in the products. They know the compensation plan back and forth. Like, we all need all of the colors to function well. If we were just a whole team of yellows, oh man, you guys, we would never get anywhere. We would be so afraid of conflict that we wouldn't be able to move past anything. And if we were a whole team of reds, there'd be a lot of people stepping on people's toes and probably not a lot of emotional connection happening there. If we were all blue, we would just be like wilding out all the time, like, let's make money and let's spend money. You know what I'm saying? And if we were all greens, we would be like in analysis paralysis and not be able to do anything because we need to learn all the facts before we are able to move forward. So we truly, truly need all the different colors. And we want to attract all different colors. And I know that's something, a question that I've gotten from a lot of people throughout my business, like, how do I attract reds? Or, you know, I'm a dominant green, like how can I attract a blue? That's, you know, maybe that's their exact opposite color. Like, how do I attract somebody like that? I want to bring in a diverse amount of people. And I think that the best way that we can do that is to just, you know, when you're making your post, whether it's for customers or distributors, whatever it is, one, just be yourself, and for your posts to feel like they're open to everybody. Like, I don't want to just exclude, you know, I don't want to exclude any color. I don't want to just target one color. I want everybody to know that they are welcome here. So I'm going to be talking about different things in my posts, and maybe you could switch it up sometimes and talk about the fun you have in your business. Talk about, you know, how the money you make in this business, how it's blessed your family. Talk about how you're able to help people, how you're you know, as a yellow, to attract yellows, how you're able to help people and the different things. Like, you can talk about those things in different posts and attract those people. That's a big thing that helped me. And then when it comes to potential distributors, and I'm going to wrap this up soon. I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you guys, but it's super, super helpful. So if you need to go back and rewatch this, definitely do. If you need to take notes and just soak it all in, because it is very, very, very helpful as you grow your team, to be able to really lead people of different personality colors and all the things. So when you are talking with potential distributors, maybe you're thinking like, oh my gosh, like how do I interact with somebody that color? Like, how do I reach them if I'm, you know, 0% this and they're 100% that, or whatever it is. So I just wrote down a few simple notes to help you guys just kind of pinpoint, maybe, you know, well, obviously when you're talking to a potential, they haven't done the color personality test yet. So this is just gonna kind of help you gauge like what their personality type is. And when you're thinking about this a lot, when you know your color, when you're familiar with each of the colors, you find yourself really kind of analyzing people without realizing it. Customers and distributors, I find myself like subconsciously thinking about, oh, this person, you know, maybe they're yellow, so I should go about the conversation in this way. Or maybe, oh, this person they seem pretty red, I should just be direct with them and go straight for the sale, or whatever it is. So a few notes that I wrote down of how to just pinpoint those things. So when you are talking to somebody who you think is a green, they are going to be somebody who are asking lots of questions, like I was talking about. Maybe they're a potential distributor and they want to read the full compensation plan, or maybe they're asking you 1,000,001 questions and you're like, what in the world? Like, for me, I'm like, oh man, I never thought to ask that. Like, once Brittany told me she would help me and that she, you know, would walk beside me, my loyalties were with Brittany, and I ran and I didn't really ask any questions. I asked them along the way. But that's just my personality type. Everybody's not like that. So with greens, they may have a lot of questions that maybe you've never gotten before. So that's a great chance to reach out in the chats that you're in and ask like, hey, has anybody gotten this question? How do I answer this? You know, maybe they have a lot of objections that they need you to overcome for them. They're not telling you no, they just need your help getting over that hurdle that they have to be able to fully understand it, because greens want the details. They need to feel like they can completely understand before they move forward. So the best thing that you can do when you're talking to a potential who you think is a green personality is just be patient. Be patient with them, talk with them through their questions. And sometimes maybe it gets to a point, if we've been talking questions for quite some time, you know, maybe a couple of weeks or some people even longer, then you can get to a place where you say, girl, you know, let's get you going. Let's help you learn as you earn, like learn as you grow. I know you have so many questions. let's do this together. Let's get you making money while you're learning the answers to these questions. And a lot of times that's been very, very fruitful for me when I've gotten pretty far into conversations. I mean, like deep, not like first and second conversation, like deep conversations with people where they just can't get over that. They just can't hit submit because they feel like they just need to understand all of the products and the compensation plan and all those things. And I'm like 3 years in the business and I'm still learning those things, you guys. So just be confident when you're talking with them and let them know that you can help them, that you're patient with them, and that they'll be learning everything that they need to learn to be successful. When you're talking with somebody who maybe is a blue and a yellow, one thing to look at, this will be a red flag if they seem to be very concerned about what other people think. Maybe they're nervous to start the business because of what their family may think or their friends, or you can tell that they're kind of timid in the conversation. The best thing that you can do for them is give them reassurance. Reassure them that you're going to walk with them every step of the way. Reassure them that they are going to have such a big team of just family, because our team is seriously like one big family, you guys, to just rally around them and encourage them and walk with them through and answer their questions, that they don't need to be concerned, that, more than likely the people that they are most concerned about their opinions, those people are not paying their bills. And a lot of times, that's another end of conversation when I get to that point where somebody's just not going, they're not hitting that submit button. That's a very real conversation that I will have with people in a voice message, of course, and just say, girl, what is it? Like, what is holding you back? And if that is their main concern, just talk with them through, those nights that I was up nervous or worried and crying over our finances, the people whose opinion I was so worried about, they had no idea. They weren't there offering to pay my bills. They weren't there, cry, with letting me put my head on their shoulder so that I could cry. Like, they were going about their own business. So when you're talking with a blue or a yellow and they seem to just be overly concerned about what people think, just give them that reassurance, voice message them, be kind in your words, and maybe firm at the same time, but kindness above all, obviously, and just reassure them that you're there for them and you'll be able to help them. And then for reds, you guys, reds want to know what this business can do for them. They want to know what the money can do for them. They want to know, how can I make money? How soon can I start? How soon can I start, making money? How can I get that bonus that you're talking about? All those different things. So those are just some little basic ways that you can pinpoint when you're talking with your potentials, to just really pinpoint what their color is so that you can focus in. And guys, what it's really going to do, and this goes for your potential customers as well, this is going to help you seal the deal so much faster in your conversations. When you know, or you can assume what their color is if they are a potential, and you can operate in that and talk with them through their color, you're going to get to that endpoint so much faster. If you're trying to explain things how you would understand it as a green, but maybe a blue over here who could care less about the details or anything like that, you may think like, oh, but they need to know all these things. Like, that may completely push them away. So just be confident when you're talking with them. Be confident in your colors. If you haven't done the color personality test yet, go do it as soon as you get off of here, and then you guys can comment on the Thread and Fire Tribe for this Zoom tonight. You can comment what your colors are if you haven't done it yet. Comment that you're doing it for the first time. Reach out to your enroller and let them know as well, because that's super important for them. I want to make sure that I'm always training my new distributors the way that they need to be trained, and it may be totally different from mine, but that's okay, because that's going to help me learn and grow. And you guys, the goal here is just to be able to be a rainbow of colors. Like, we should not go through life saying like, oh, I'm just this or I'm just that. Like, the goal is for somebody to look at you and be like, I don't know what color they are. They're great in all of these areas, like, that is good self-development right there. And I know that's something that Brittany, as my enroller, has shared with me before. With me being a yellow, I know that that is something that she's worked super hard for in her time in the business, to be able to understand yellows and to be able to pull out her yellow and be, emotionally connected with people, or have, maybe she just wants to talk about business, but she knows that she's got to take that time to really connect with that person and connect emotionally with them. Where, you know, that may not come super easy for her or for you, or whatever your color is, something may not come super easy for you. That's where you know that you can look up some self-development on that and learn how to grow in those areas so that you can be just fully rounded with all of those colors so that you can relate to everybody that comes into your team and every customer that comes into your business. And then just last minute tips that I want to give you guys, because I know we're going a little bit over the time, just how you can not only motivate, keep yourself motivated and keep your team motivated, but here's just some quick tips for each of the colors of how to really push them. So if you wonder, like, I have somebody on my team, I know that they are going to be so great, I just can't seem to like push them like past their limit. I know that they are capable of so much more. How can I push them to that place? So I'm going to go through these colors super quick and just give you guys tips on those. So for blues, one thing you can do to help motivate them and get them rolling is giving them smaller goals. Give them something like attainable that they can reach quickly. So that might not be a super long-term goal. Like, yes, they have big long-term goals ahead of them, but they need things like boom, 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 boom to keep them highly energetic, keep them interested, keep them going. So contests or you know, maybe it's every 100 BV I enroll, I'm going to go get myself a $10 Starbucks drink or something, you know, like something to treat yourself as a blue. That's a way to keep yourself motivated. Give yourself little goals like that, little prizes for different things you do. Celebrate your little wins so that you are staying excited and staying motivated. Get on Zooms. Get close to people. I know that we don't have events going on right now, so do what you got to do to stay close to the fire and stay close to the people, to keep yourself motivated, get those small incentives, and make it fun. You guys, this business does not have to be boring. There have been times in my business where I'm like, man, I'm not having fun today. And it's like, whoa, Jordan, wake up. Why are you not having fun? Like, this business is straight from your phone. Like, you have the freedom to do whatever you want with this business. Like, heck yes, it's fun. If you're not feeling like it's fun, if you feel stuck or feel bored in your business, that's on you, boo. You need to just shake it up a little bit and be like, okay, what am I doing? What have I not do? What have I stopped doing? What am I not doing anymore that this is not fun? And just do it, make it happen. So maybe for you, it's, you know, going and go to the pool and work on your phone. Maybe that's fun. Or, you know, go, I don't know, do something that's fun. Keep it fun for you. If you're a blue and you know that, or you have a blue on your team, encourage them to keep it fun. For greens, you want to help your greens game plan. Help them see where they are going. Give them attainable, just sometimes they need it laid out. What is step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And that's the importance of making sure that you talk with your team, with your distributors that you enroll, to find out what their colors are, because game planning is not my top priority. I'm a very spontaneous person. I don't like plans. So if I have a green on my team, I need to know that that's their color so that I can reel it in and make sure that I'm giving them what they need. So giving them a game plan, giving them direction, and then to help keep them motivated, encourage them to go do research. You guys, greens love research. So encourage them to research the products. Like, tell them, go find something in the products that is super cool that people don't know. Like, why are our products so amazing? Go find out. Like, just pour your heart out into that research, girl. You go find out what makes these products so amazing. And I'll just keep saying over here, saying these products are amazing because I'm using them and loving them. I don't know why, but I just know that they're amazing. Encourage them to learn ingredients, learn the quality of the products, and then just help them with long-term logistical goals for what they want. So maybe it's encouraging them with their long-term goal, buying a house or a car or things like that, just helping them stay game plan focused. That is how you help greens. And then for yellows want to know that people care. So if you have yellows on your team, you guys, or if you are a yellow, make sure that you're staying connected with people. But if you are a leader who has yellows on your team, maybe it is not your first nature to check in on them or to ask about their life or whatever it may be. Push yourself out of that comfort zone to do that, because I promise you, yellows, when they are loyal to you, they are loyal to you for life, you guys. Like, when they know you care, they will go the extra mile. They will do whatever it is you want them to do. So check in with them, create that relationship, create relationships with your sidelines, with your upline, like be intentional about creating those relationships if you are a yellow, to help keep you feeling like a family, feeling connected. Because you guys, I have seen in these 3 years that it is much harder for people to make the decision to leave this business when they feel like a family, because it truly feels like you're leaving a family. But it's when people feel disconnected, when they're isolating themselves and not staying close to the fire, that's when it's easy for people to peace out and walk away. And we don't want that to happen, obviously. And then just helping remind yellows of their big picture, their why. Why did you start this business? And helping them not be in the moment, you guys, because yellows and blues tend to be very emotional. They might get wrapped up in how they're feeling. Maybe they had a really, really bad day. Maybe, things are going on around them. Maybe, all the craziness that's going on in the world right now is keeping them paralyzed in their business, and they're letting that distract them from what they're doing. Keep reminding them of their big picture. Remind them why they started this business. Why do you need this money? Why do you want these relationships? Why? And make them answer you. I mean, you can't make them answer you, but keep asking until they answer you. But why? Well, I need money, but why? Why do you need money? Help them see that bigger picture and keep them out of here. Keep them out of their head, help them look forward and keep moving forward. And then lastly, you guys, for reds, how you motivate reds. And then if you are a red, how to keep yourself motivated. Just go look at how much money you can make, guys. Go look at that compensation plan. Go look at what happens when you go diamond. Go look at what leadership level bonuses are and how you can literally just, Mark says you have a license to print money. Go look at what is going to make you money and challenge yourself. Give yourself big challenges, small challenges to hit, and then show yourself and show your red team members the option that this business can do for them. Help them get bigger picture. When I started, I started this for a very small amount, and I got the bigger picture that we could have a life of freedom, and I grabbed onto that, you guys. I may be dominantly yellow, but I have a lot of percentage of red as well. And when I saw what this business could do for me, I was like, let's do it. Let's go. I don't care how long it takes me to get there. Let's do it and let's get there. And that helped keep me going, keep me motivated. Like, oh, I can start earning over $10,000 a month. Are you serious? Let's do it. And we did it and we went. And you guys just keeping that in front of your reds. And if you are a red and you really need some just big motivation, you guys write a letter to yourself for 5 years from now. And I want you to say in there what your life looks like if you were to not give up on this business and if you were to seriously give it your all. Write that letter, talk about what has happened, what changed, talk about where you were and where you are now. And if you need to read that letter every single day, you guys, do it. Read it. Remind yourself, because you're going to have days where it's going to be bad days. It's going to be frustrating days, and you've got to know how to keep yourself inspired and motivated. And you've got to know that just operating in your color and knowing your color front and back, the weaknesses, the highs of it, the high functioning, low functioning, all the things, that is just going to help you all around to grow everything in your business and grow you as a person and all of the things. So let me catch up on the chat right here before I hop off of this thing. I hope that you guys learned some really good stuff from this. And I truly hope that it helps you guys just be able to explode your business with your customers, with your distributors, and just being intentional about creating those connections and really helping them operate as their best self. Maybe not how you operate, but how they do. So let me make sure nobody has questions in here. If you guys have a last minute question, please put it at the bottom because there's a lot of comments in here. Ooh, somebody's blue and green primary. That is an interesting combination. You're fun, but you want the details too. Okay. I think that's about it. Okay, you guys. Well, I hope that y'all have an awesome night. Thank you for hopping on our team huddle. We love you guys so much. Go do the color personality test. If you haven't done it in a while, go do it again. I just did it again today and my numbers were different from last time. So I challenge you guys to go do that and then shout out what your primary and your secondary colors are in the thread in the Fire Tribe page. So we'll talk to you guys later. Good night.